Tell us, Arnold, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you very well. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. How are you doing?
Very well. Thanks for having me once again.
Okay, so the first question I would like to ask you is let's contextualize a bit first. Honduras has been swept up in a political crisis since 2009 when the back then President Manuel Zelaya was deposed in a coup by the far right and military forces of the country. Now the two political bodies that come out in the polls as main competitors are Libertad y Refundación with Xiomara Castro as runner-up and the Partido Nacional with Nasri Asfura. In the political balance, they are at opposing ends, so what does a victory for either of them mean to the future of Honduras?
Well, just to on the issue of the context, historical context, I would like to add one point, if you don't mind, and that is Honduras has been the supposed banana republic, right? So every time the people of Honduras struggle in favor of their own program, in favor of their sovereignty, it is a direct challenge to the U.S. view that Honduras is a banana republic. Now, of course, in 2009, the coup d'etat took place against Zelaya. What was his crime? He joined ALBA. He had the specific goal, and this was also, the following was also promoted by his wife, who is now candidate, to improve education, free education for children, subsidies for small farmers, and many other such reforms. The most important of being, of course, joining ALBA. This is a crime for the U.S., and from the U.S. point of view, that's the coup took place. And now, so what is happening now? There's another opportunity for the same forces who began the struggle to establish a new Honduras, free from foreign intervention and with progressive social programs. This is being played out right now as we speak. And so I think it is very important, not only for Honduras, but for the whole region.
I would like to go a little bit deeper on that. The Organization of American States and the European Union will be acting or are acting as observers in these elections, and the U.S. Embassy already expressed themselves yesterday on the matter. So what would the main interest from these powers, the Organization of American States, the European Union, and the United States in this area be?
Well, their objective is very clear. They do not want a change in government. They do not want the candidacy of Xiomara Castro to win. That is for sure. We know that. And they will do everything to even resorting to outright lies to try to present the elections as fraudulent if the Progressive Party Libre wins. So if they lose as a result of fraud, the follow-up on the elections will be taking place in the street. But they're very self-serving. When there's a chance for the progressive forces to win, such as now in Honduras, even before it takes place, they're calling fraud. The same thing happened in Venezuela a short while ago. And so, I think we have no choice but to point out that the OAS, United States, cannot and should not be the bodies or the countries that decide when an election is fraudulent or clear and transparent. They weaponize the issue of so-called fraud in order to favor their candidates and to oppose those candidates who go against the U.S. empire.
Now, lastly, I would like to ask you, the current president, Juan Orlando Hernandez, was criticized in the past over claims of fraud in elections. This is a man who represents the Partido Nacional, which Asfura is also a member of. Some analysts say the country could see a cease in corrupt activities if the elections manage to be transparent and clean. What are the odds of this actually happening in the current scenario?
What can you just explain once again? What are you referring to actually happening?
Said that if the current elections were to go down in a clean and transparent manner, then this could mean a reversion of corruption in the country.
Yes, it definitely will be. I mean, if they go down in a transparent manner and the progressive forces led by Xiomara Castro win, it'll be a major upset for the whole region in Latin America. I would say a small earthquake, geopolitical earthquake in Latin America. But I think it's going to be rough. If they win, they will be denied, the progressive forces will be denied the victory. And if they lose, it's quite possible that it was the fraud that caused the progressive forces to win, because we have to keep in mind, Iago, that right now, all the polls show that the progressive forces are ahead in the polls. So how can they actually lose those elections if it was not by fraud? But fraud has been taking place even before today. For example, when the current government used aid destined to fight the effects of the hurricanes in Honduras, they used this aid to buy off votes in certain areas of the country as a preview, as a way to get votes, buy votes for the elections that are taking place today. So this fraud by them has been going on for quite some time.
Okay, thank you so much, Arnold. Thanks for having me. Well, that was analyst and journalist Arnold August sharing his views